Welcome to your next step up the self-publishing mountain.
I'm Matilda Swift, author of quintessentially British cozy mysteries.
And I'm Samantha Cummings, author of young adult books about magic, myths and monsters.
I've written the books,
Changed their covers,
tweaked their blurbs,
tried tools from a dozen ads courses.
and I'm still not seeing success.
Now, we're working together to plot and plan our way from barely making ends meet to pulling in a living wage.
Join us on our journey where we'll be mastering the pen to snag that paycheck.
Hello and welcome to Pen to Paycheck Authors Podcast. I'm Samantha Cummings, here with my co-host Matilda Swift, and we're here to write our way to financial success. We're two indie authors with over a dozen books between us and still a long way to go towards the quit the day job dream. If that sounds familiar, listen along for our mastery through missteps journey. Each week we cover a topic to help along the way, and this week's topic is us drilling down into mindset issues. But before we do that, let's do our whims and whinges of the week.
I feel like I don't really know the week's gone. I was editing a novella, which I did get on time, so I got that in by end of day Saturday, which is when it was due, because the book's out on Wednesday. It feels a bit underwhelming actually, and not in a bad way, because this book, I wrote it when I was in Greece. I wrote it a couple weeks ago, and I planned it by dictation. When I wrote it, it felt pretty clean, and when I read through it for the edits, it felt like, yeah, it's good actually. I don't need. Often I have like big sections that just feel dull, or I need to replace a chapter. It was actually fine. There were a lot of bits where I needed to add a bit more conversation, but it was really lovely. I think actually, I've said this before, like I find novellas much easier, and like the shorter a book is, the better, because I have a lot of side stories, and in this there's a lot of side stories, but like there's a limit to how many you can have in 20,000 words. So yeah, that was an absolute delight. Just really like set myself a target, did it with ease, wasn't stressed. Took a few hours out on Friday to just have my cat lay on me and read a book. Had some nice chats with friends. Yeah, it was a good week, quite relaxing week. Also got my nails done, sort of in the middle of that deadline, so just easy breezy, which is very nice. And then today, another win, I had a day off because my schedule was sort of spend this week in the novella, but actually the deadline for Amazon was Saturday, so I was like, I won't rush into my next project. I'll have the day off. I spent this morning working on a really good toolkit that I'll put in the show notes, that really only works if, like me, you procrastinate from a place of perfectionism. It's quite a niche toolkit, but it was made by a counselor in the US, and it's all about it basically seems like she's written it for me, and it's all about like how to recognize what your procrastination does for you and why it's benefiting you, because you won't give it up unless you kind of replace that in a different way, or you reframe it, or you realize actually what I'm thinking of procrastination is just me having to do something that's important to me. So it was fantastic. I feel much better, in the fact, because I was working on it this morning on my day off, it felt like such a good, I've got like the space to think about it today. And then halfway through the day, I like made myself in the small things I need to clean in my house, which I just sort of felt overwhelming at the moment. So I do feel like I needed a day off. And my other win that is actually writing related that I will share. I have been using the deep research function of Gemini recently. Both in work and out of work, and I think it's only useful if it's something that you don't already have enormous amounts of information on. Like I'm using it for resource finding. So I used it for like finding some things to read and listen to on a certain topic that I talked about it with it, and like recreated a document that I knew existed online, but I couldn't find a copy of it, like with like back and forth asking. So just tons of things that you think, imagine if you had a research assistant who was like medium competent but needed a lot of guidance, what would you want them to do? That's been really nice, and just feels like it saved me time and enabled me to have like more tools to know where to go next on things. So absolutely recommending the deep research tool. If you're on the free account, you're limited. I think you get 10 deep research projects per month.
Yeah.
But that's fine, because you can also add to it and like refine it within that as well, and ask it further questions based on it. So that has been an absolute winner of a week. I really enjoyed doing that. How about you?
Yeah, that sounds really good. I'd never really thought about it, but probably a great way to help with research on like books and stuff, if you had something that you needed to research, to do like a deep dive on things without having to just like troll through Google.
Yeah,
That
and I
sounds
think
fun.
mine, I've used it for like marketing side of things. So, I keep banging on about this idea of like, I feel like I'm not quite getting the concept of like how to hook readers into a non-hooky genre. So
Hmm.
I've got it to kind of pull out some information on that. And it is very good at finding different articles and kind of bringing them all together.
Yeah,
And it puts like useful information tables, it gives you sources, it gives you podcasts to listen to if you ask it that's like, it
yeah.
basically just like really made me focus on something that I've done a lot of disparate research into. So yeah, I think it's good for marketing as well for me.
Hmm. Yeah, that sounds good. I had a great week, although one of my whinges is time. But I'll get to that in a
It's a
second because
tricky
I'm the
thing.
same. Like, where's that? I thought I had such a grasp on time, and then I lost my grasp. So this week I was still kind of like celebrating birthdayness and kind of feeling out of my usual routines and stuff. So the week's gone really fast, but I have got fish, which I really wanted to get for my birthday, and it was like my big
Mhm.
birthday gift was getting a fish tank and getting some little fish. I definitely go and check out my Instagram because I feel like I'm going to be posting fish updates all the time. I'm going to be one
Mhm.
of those weird people. I
It's your
love them.
new social object.
It's my new social object. Yeah, I got 7 fish. It was supposed to be 6, but the guy scooped 7, and he was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
just keep it." And then I was like, "Oh yeah, buy 6 get 7 free." He's like, "No, literally, shh, be quiet. Just keep it." Thank you. Um, so because there's 7 of them, and I was unsure what I was going to call them, but because there's 7, I was thinking like, what's like a good 7 name? Like, what's a good name to call 7 things? Which obviously 7 is
Wolves
like the biggest thing that
is the
like
number.
everything is it's the number. Um, but I have a book series called Seven Princes of Hell.
Ah,
So my fish are the 7 Princes of Hell, and they are all characters from my book. Like they're all brothers. And I can tell like 3 of them apart. I know like 3 of them specifically in the tank. I'm like, I know which that one. I know which one that one is. Then
I'd
the
recommend
other
that
ones
everyone
are
does
just
go and look at Sam's Instagram because these fish, they are not like characterful fish.
they are
They're identical fish.
identical. But because being a fish mom now, I can
Mhm.
tell my fish babies apart. Some of them are like one of them's humongous, like one of them's so big, like so much bigger than the others, so that one's easy to tell. But yeah, I got my fish and I just keep looking at the tank and just sitting there like an absolute idiot, just being so relaxed, like, oh, my little fish. I love looking at them so much. And that's been the highlight of my week. I also ran a couple of promos for my werewolf series. So I did a 99p deal and ran some promos, like email list promo things, which I've never really done before, but properly. So I've had like a nice little slew of sales from that, which is like
Mhm.
the first step in taking marketing more seriously and putting money into the business. And that
And
was
it
really
lets you
nice. And
gather
I,
data. You can see read through
yes,
and you can see
exactly.
rank
Yeah.
and stuff like
So
that.
I've kind of started that journey, which has been fun. And I also today guested on a podcast.
Oh
Get that to myself.
my goodness. Oh,
I
I feel a bit
Yes,
violated.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm jealous.
I was a guest on a podcast called The Fantasy Grimoire, and it's a podcast hosted by a friend, like an online Instagrammy friend, and she started doing a podcast for indie authors,
Oh.
talking about indie books and stuff. And when I saw that she was doing this podcast, I was like, oh, like I'm just gonna ask if I can be on it. And she was immediately like, yes, like of course, come on. So we recorded that today. It's not gonna be out till later in the year, so I'll talk about it again. But it was so nice because it's funny how when I first did a guest appearance on a podcast, last the start of this year, I think it was, I
We
was
did go
so
in very hot. We went in with like one of the biggest podcasts there is. I feel that was quite a
yes,
lot of
yeah,
pressure.
yeah. But I was really nervous when I did that, and I had never talked like to other people that I like. I'm not really a talk to people I don't know person. Um, and so yeah, I was really nervous for that one. But for this one, I legitimately just like rocked up to the computer at the time, logged onto the
Mhm.
call, and we were just away. And afterwards, she did comment that like it was obvious like I was good at the podcasting. Like I
You're
was
a
comfortable
podcaster.
chatting, and I felt afterwards I felt like yeah, I am good at this. Like I'm great at
Mhm.
just talking, and particularly about myself as my favorite subject. So it was really nice. Like I felt boosted by my ability. Um, yeah, and then like I've been doing edits and stuff. Although like my whinge is that time has slipped away from me. Don't know what I've done this week, but I have
Mhm.
had a really good day of edits today, and I've got to like a great point in the story where I really feel like I'm super into it. So it's no
Are
longer
you
feels
also
like a slog.
percentage-wise through where you're meant to be?
Oh, absolutely not. No, I'm behind, but
Yeah.
it's because like this week didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. I was like, I've got nothing planned this week. I'll get loads done. But having nothing planned actually was
Mm-hmm.
detrimental to
Mm-hmm.
me. We were saying this off air that I love a schedule, and my schedule was disrupted last week. So it was just
Mm.
like rubbish. Um, and then my final whinge is that I was battling Facebook ads yesterday, and I thought I'd done a really good job, and I was setting up ads, and then I hit a glitch, which is definitely like a Facebook error. It's like not my fault. It's something has gone wrong with the system, and it won't save the link for the ad. Like so, it won't save the destination link, and it keeps saying,
Oh.
yeah, won't can't put live, no destination link, even though it's there. So I just like rage quit.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
I'm
would
putting
too,
it off till
yeah.
next week because I'm gonna have to recreate both of the ads that I was doing. It was just like an A/B test, but like I've spent so much time trying to pick
Yeah.
the right things to test, and yeah, they kicked me in the teeth. So I'm gonna give it a few days and then go back and
Mm-hmm.
recreate it when I'm feeling like I will handle Facebook again. But I was
If
very
you
angry.
Yeah, if you would like some moral support through the process, I know something I'm about to offer. I will offer. I will, I will sit with you. But also, I know it's about this podcast a lot, but I know Penn and Prosper did a literal on-screen walkthrough. I only listened to their podcast, so it was slightly odd. I listened to them do an on-screen walkthrough of ads. But I assume that it was video. I think it was recorded on video. Otherwise that'd be really weird. So I'm going to assume it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it was quite a recent one, so it was maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago they did it. But
Mhm.
yeah, they literally, from the sounds of it, looked at every single screen. So maybe some good moral support if you want to pretend that you're with
Yeah.
another podcaster.
It's because like I know how it works. Like I'm fine setting up ads. I love
Mm.
tinkering and putting all the stuff in, and, like picking like the different text
I
to
feel like I do it
use,
just
and
infrequently enough. It's one of those things like putting a book up. They're like, what? Which button
I'm
is this?
I'm like the
Where are you
opposite.
having that setting?
It's like ingrained in me setting up Facebook. So I just blast through and like set everything up. Like because I've done it, I've spent years doing it for other people, that I know the process. Like I know all the buttons to click. So getting an error was like it's so unfair. Like I do everything right and you're not working. So yeah, I think technology really, when things go wrong with technology, it's like no greater rage for me. That's the worst feeling I can ever feel.
I've still got the issue of my
Oh,
countdown deal for the book that was like maybe 2 months ago that was supposed to
no.
get a kind of countdown deal. Amazon keep getting updates from the tech team, but like, oh, still working on it. I was like, there must be another thing you can do. Like, it can't be that this is a problem you're working on like day and night for months. Like, can
Hmm.
we not just reset something? They're like, no, we still need to figure it out. I was like, okay,
Oh my God.
thanks. Yeah,
Just delete me. Just
yeah,
delete everything.
yeah. Just reset the system, restart
Yeah.
Amazon, guys. That's what you need
Restart
to do.
Amazon.
Turn it off
Yeah,
and on
like
again.
turn it off.
Yeah,
You should say that.
for
Send
me.
them an email. Say, can you just turn it off and on
They're
again?
actually not people of great humour, the chat people at Amazon.
Oh,
They do
that's a
not have any
shame.
human qualities. No.
No.
Um, okay, so I feel like we're dawdling because we're putting off topic today because we
Hmm.
are revisiting mindset, which we talked about a couple weeks ago. In what we both really enjoyed the podcast episode, but I think I have re-listened to it, and I think thinking back on it, it was one of our rare episodes where we don't really have any next steps. We both were talking about like a thing that we feel a bit bad about. So we want to be able to revisit it today, and I think also usefully because lots of the topics in that have been on our minds a lot, just from talking through it. So we want to pick one of the topics that we talked about. We both had a few different mindset issues, which we called things we should go to therapy for, which
Hmm.
I still think maybe we should go to therapy for. But also we can pick one of them and make an actual action plan for it. Like, what are our next
Hmm.
steps to kind of get through this? I think it's especially useful because we picked up topics that were really damaging our businesses.
Hmm.
So what is topic we're talking about today for you?
Mine is the want to be seen, don't want to be seen problem.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, because
That
I
is a
feel
good
like
one.
that one's it's the most achievable one to fix. I feel
Mm,
because it just means putting myself into an uncomfortable position or situation which I will learn from. Like I know, like when I do things, when I put myself out of my comfort zone, like I come out of it better, and I know that about myself. And yeah, I like to do things that make me feel like, oh, I've been brave, even though it's like legitimately the most normal thing that anyone's ever done. So I'm going to try and tackle my desire to be just mist over trees.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I describe it. When I actually asked my work colleagues recently, if you could be anything in the world, like not human, what would you be? And they were like, well, what would you be? And I said, mist over trees. they,
Be way
they
bottom
were
of my
like,
list, very far down my
oh,
list.
yeah. They're like, my bosses, like, I would just be a tree. And like, yeah, a tree's great, but people look
That
at
would be
you too
good.
much. Like, and you could be chopped down, but if you're mist, you can just
I
creep
don't know.
around.
Because then what are you when you disappear?
Well,
I think
that's
you're
the great
too
thing about it. I can
insubstantial.
disappear. Yeah, well, that's my
Mm.
problem. That's the problem. I need to not want to be missed. I need to want to be like something solid.
Like the bird Khalifa.
Yeah, like just anything better than mist.
Can I say
Even
that was a weird thing for me to say because my work, I work in education and I don't do a lot of tuition. I have a couple of tuition students still, but I used to do quite a lot. And we have this series of like, lessons about teaching kids to write, and it's like creative writing. And one of the lessons is unbelievably popular that like mystifies me every time because it seems like such a weird topic is like you have to be a skyscraper. Like you have to write as if you are a skyscraper,
ooh, yeah.
which to me it's like I being another one's about like being a water bottle. It's a weird series of lessons, that one. It was like being an inanimate object to me does not feel interesting, but like the kids loved it.
Mm.
And I think
It's kind of like being a
yeah,
transformer.
people used to often write about being the bird Khalifa.
It was so weird. I could
It's
see
so weird.
myself being a skyscraper though, so maybe that's what I should try and be. Maybe I need to be less mist, more skyscraper.
Mm. The two options in
They're
life.
obviously the only option that there is. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
so
been thinking
that's
about that for a while,
definitely
but I get derailed by
yeah.
this. Yeah.
That's
Okay,
anyway.
so that is your topic.
That's my thing. That's the thing I'm going to try and do is try and come out of the mist like a
Mm.
gorilla. Silly reference. And yeah, and be a real human. Like I'm doing the podcast today, like guesting on the
Mm.
podcast felt like a first step in that. So I
Yeah.
feel like I know what path I'm supposed to go on. But before I get into that, you tell me what you've come up with.
Okay. I am picking a big one. I think the problem with mine is there's lots of aspects to it that I don't necessarily understand them all. So I'm picking money mindset. And if I want to kind of drill down specifically to how will I make a plan for quitting my job? Because I think we mentioned last time, like I've got savings and I also have in Hong Kong, I have a pension. And when you leave, you can take it, you can take a lump sum of cash. And I haven't, it's just waiting there for me to take it, but I will take it at some point. People always do when they leave the country because it's not actually worth leaving it there. So I've got a lump sum there and I've got some savings here and I have enough money to not work for a good period of time, even if I had no money coming in. And and it just and it doesn't feel good, the idea of quitting. Like it just feels too insecure. So it just feels like what do I need to feel secure? Because I've also got like other ideas for other sources of money. I know how long the money could last me. I know how much money I need. Like, and yet I don't feel like excited about the idea of quitting just from the financial instability. Also because part of it is like I procrastinate a lot, and I don't feel like I don't want to quit until I feel really in control of my like time and my schedule. I'm not a good schedule person. And the other part is that I would feel less capable of taking risks in my writing if I didn't have a day job to like pay my bills. So I
Mm.
think there's kind of a few aspects to it, but part of it is just like what would make me feel secure is what I kind of need to figure out, which I
Mhm.
have got some plans for. So we can talk about that. But
Yes.
I also still need to like I think it's a longer term thing. I would like to have a roadmap
Hmm.
quite soon.
Have you ever considered, I know you have done in the past, but now that you're at a different stage in your life, would you consider going to talk to a financial advisor?
Yeah, I could do. So last time I spoke to a financial advisor, it was not about this. It was just about like, do I need to be doing things differently? Like,
Hmm.
what do people do with money? Because I live by myself, so I don't have anyone to like look at my plans with or talk about. I never have to make plans with somebody else, which I think often people do, and that helps them figure out Like, are you saving enough money? Are you investing in the right way? I don't have to do that with anybody. You're
I
shaking your
I
head,
don't do
but
that with anyone either. Don't worry. I am a
um,
child with a credit card.
yeah, that is how I feel driving the credit card.
Mhm.
And so I sat down with the financial advisor, and it was I just couldn't really understand the concept of money. Like the conversation just went like, I was like, what are people saving for? Like, what am I meant to be saving for? I think I don't know. I think everyone else knows something I don't know. And he was like, because the thing is like about me is like, oh, I don't drive. I don't have a family. I don't want a family, like of for me to birth.
Mhm.
I have done a lot of traveling of the world. I was like, I don't really know what I'm meant to be saving for. But everyone seems to think of
Mm.
savings important. And he was like, no, you're fine. You don't need to save that. It's
Yeah,
like,
I think like
okay.
probably because I think when you see a financial advisor, you like the thing that they're kind of geared up for is to tell you about
Mm,
pensions and investments, and it's kind of
yeah.
like that longevity of your money.
Yeah, but
But
I'm a child, so how can I need to think
exactly,
about
yeah.
that? I'm so young.
So maybe finding like because there must be them out there. Like I don't know because I work in
Mm,
the finance industry, so all I know are
mm,
like advisors who advise about investments and pensions. But there
mm.
must be people who advise about not saving, but just like how to
Yeah, like
manage what
business
you've
plans as
got.
well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So like managing what you've got and maybe like making small term investments that will pay off. Like I mean like ISAs and stuff, I guess. Like throwing some money in
Hmm.
an ISA and getting a bit of extra money in return is probably like just like little things that you could be doing. So I'm
I mean,
just
I've
putting
got
that out
Martin
there.
Lewis for this. So I think like the small stuff, obviously I've got
Yeah.
Martin Lewis. He told me what ISA to
Yeah.
get. I've got an ISA.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I do think that is useful actually. So when I have an accountant because I don't want to do my taxes myself. I don't want to go to prison for my own miscalculations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I had a good long chat with him, in fact. And when I first met with him, it was like a Friday afternoon. Everyone else in the staff had gone. He runs the accountancy firm, and it is quite a big firm, but it's local to me. So it's like we met in this like very chic, cool, like open plan office with like a snooker table in the middle of it. Like it seemed like it was a really fun place. And then it was me chatting with the owner, and so that was really nice. And I felt really comfortable and confident talking to him. And he was like, yeah, at some point, and we talked about kind of long term wanting to make a transition to that. It's like at some point, if you want to come in and get some financial advice, like we can set up a session for that. We do that here. So maybe it's just time to do that.
Yeah.
Just to talk to someone about that. I think the issue is like I know the fact, right? Like I know how much money I have, I know how long it lasts me. I
Mm-hmm.
just and there's no reason not to quit. It just feels scary. That's
Yes,
it.
but
I'm scared.
sometimes if somebody else can tell you that you're
Yeah.
in a good position and it's somebody that you can like
Yeah.
consider to have authority on the subject, that might just
Mm,
be like the helping hand that you need. Like not
yeah.
like the person that's going to help you make the decision, but the person who's going to help make the decision that helps you make the decision. You know, because like
Yeah.
just to ease yourself in
Yeah,
to
because I think the big
something.
issue I have is like I don't want to make a stupid mistake, right? That's my like
Mhm.
perfectionism coming in. It's like I don't want at the end of this to go back to work and everyone be like, "Oh, why did you quit your job? That's so stupid." Like that's what idiots do. And it's like, and that's my like negative
Oh
self-talk,
no,
right?
it's
It's like
not what
make me
idiots do,
worry.
it's what cool people do. It's what cool people who live adventurous lives writing books do.
Yeah, and it is interesting, right? Like I have quit my job numerous times. I think in my
Hmm.
20s I spent less time working than I spent traveling. Um, I I don't quite know why it feels different now. I think it's because I'm trying to make it permanent
Yeah,
and also there's like a real like golden handshake situation, a golden handcuff situation, right? Like I have a good income from my job, and if I quit it and couldn't get a job that's equal to that, I would feel stupid. But like also, who cares?
yeah, who cares? Yeah, you can
Yeah,
always, and I know like this isn't what people want to hear because it seems like this is like you're losing something, but you
mm,
can not so much downsize, but you could definitely like there are things that you spend money on that you don't have to spend money on. Like
yeah,
you can cut down on like frivolous I was going to say frivolity, but frivolous things could be cut.
yeah,
You could share like Netflix passwords, or either you can scrimp your way through if you're doing the thing that makes you happy
mm,
and you're fine like cutting out things that are just noise around you. Um, then making less money for like living the dream. Like you have to, I think,
Mm.
figure out what your reason for wanting to do it is, and deciding how uncomfortable you're willing to be.
Yeah, and I think like during the time, when I've quit my job to go and do it, I've kind of set a budget that's like it's as moderate as I want to be. Like as in it's
Hmm.
not going to feel punishing. I've still got money in there for getting my nails done, for example, because I really like getting it done. It's like
Of course.
my monthly treat where I just like sit and can't do anything with my hands. I just sit there and be relaxing. It's also quite cheap and it's relaxing. Um, so I've set myself like a monthly budget that I know would cover that and like other things that I think are essential, like, transport, right? Like I don't have a car and I would need to get public transport in. So if I come and see you in town once a month, like that's an expense. So I've put in all those sorts of expenses and it's less than I live on now. So if I had to get another job at the other end of it that paid less and that was my
Yeah.
salary, fine.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so I think it's not a real worry, right? Like it's like a bogeyman, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you should be financially secure and you should be sensible and don't quit good jobs. And like I have quit
Hmm.
good jobs. I've quit so many good jobs in my life. Like I quit my job in the financial crisis when no one had a job and I had a good job in publishing and I was like, I don't like this. It's not for me. I'm going to quit and go traveling. And I was in a choir at the time. It was like just a choir of me and old ladies. And they were all like, don't do it. Don't you no one's got a job right now. Don't quit your good job and go traveling. That's a really foolish idea. And I was like, I'm just going to do it. And
Yeah.
I in fact had quit my job with no job to go to because I really hated my job and it was really like demeaning basically and not going to go anywhere and it made me feel really bad about myself even though it was a job that I'd really wanted. And I quit with nowhere to go to and they were just shocked. They were like, we'll offer you a slightly marginally better job, and I was like, no. And then I
Hmm.
actually got offered, after I had quit already, a much better job, but that I knew it could be very similar at a different company, and I was like, still no, I'm just going to quit. So I have done it before. Um and I think that's maybe what's holding back as well, is it doesn't feel as easy or exciting to do now because I don't know, I'm not 20 anymore.
But also,
That's
it
maybe it.
means more. Like, yeah, it means
Yeah.
more to you to win,
Yeah.
like
To
to
fail at
succeed.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, like to fail would feel like a bigger failure
Yeah.
because you want them to do something that's like this is the thing we've dreamed of our whole
Yeah.
lives, effectively. And what if it
Yeah.
doesn't go right? What if it's like not what you like? You say you had like a dream job, but it wasn't what you wanted.
Yeah.
Maybe in the back of your mind, it's a bit like, what if being self-employed and just writing isn't
Yeah.
what I think it's going to be?
And because
I think
also all
that's
the
the
pressure's on
that's
me.
one thing.
Like
Yeah,
if I fail, it is 100% my fault.
but
Um,
also you do have me. I'm not obviously not going to fund you,
it's
but
your fault.
yeah, like to talk about how can I save money on these things, or like what am I going to do?
Hmm.
How do I get more money for this? Like you have got friends around you
Yeah.
that you could ask questions of, and like people would help you out
Mm,
if you needed help.
yeah. I guess it's just I don't trust myself. That's probably it, right? I
Hmm.
don't trust myself because I know I see my worst sides, right? I see the person who sets a deadline and then does everything to procrastinate until the very last possible minute and then is up until like 1 in the morning meeting their deadline. It's like I'm a person who I've never in my life missed a deadline. I will do everything. Like I can always do it, but I will be doing it the last minute. And it's like I wouldn't employ that person. That person's not getting a job with me. That's a bad employee.
Oh, no, that's
So
a
like
great
boss me is
employee,
like,
willing to
mm.
go like to the ends of the earth to get the job done.
But then she's tired the next day. Then she's a bit
Oh,
grouchy. She has a lot of back
that's
chat.
fine. That's okay because you committed.
Maybe that is it. Maybe I'm wanting to be a better employee for
Yeah,
myself, and I don't want to hire myself. Um,
yeah. Oh,
yeah, because
that's a fun one to break
I do see
down.
the worst sides of myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I am really self-critical. And this procrastination document that I read, it was literally like somebody has seen me doing all those like worse like 1 a.m. writing sessions when it was so little work and I could have done it at 10 a.m. And that's the worst thing, is like I could have done it at a time. It's like someone has seen that and they'd written this document and be like, yeah, many people like that. It's fine. I was like, oh, thank you. Um, yeah, and so I definitely think also like the other person I know who is full time that I've known for a long time, who's full time writer, who I know in Hong Kong. Uh, we used to write together on Friday, and she is just very good at not being distracted. She's like just not a distractible person particularly, and that's and that maybe is like when someone's there watching her more than other times. But I think she generally is less distracted than I am, and so I would see that as a model of like, oh, you must be undistractable and you must be professional to do this job. And like, it's not true. There's plenty of other writers that I know who write full time who are just like,
Yeah.
oh, I did nothing today. Couldn't
Yeah,
phone a
hot
store.
messes.
Yeah. It's that I don't want to be a hot mess. I want to be the best employee of
Yeah.
myself. I want to be
I
employee
think
of the month every month, and I
I
would never
I
give myself employee of the month.
I do actually feel like that's kind of like a strange breakthrough to have. Like a
Yeah.
good one, I mean, because that's
Yeah.
very, it's not so much that you're scared to quit your job and go full time, is that you don't trust yourself. So the
Yeah.
thing isn't quitting the job, the thing is hiring yourself or like
Yeah.
relying on yourself to be the best employee.
Yeah, and that's what's felt really confusing is like because I have quit my job so many times to go traveling,
Yeah.
but like if you fail at traveling, it's going to be a great story. Whatever you did is going to be
Oh
like
my
an excellent
God.
story, and you will fail doing something really adventurous and that like no one else is brave enough to do usually. Not nobody else, but like a lot of people are not brave enough to do. And it was in a foreign country no one else has ever been to. So like if
Mm.
you quit your job and then you end up like with 10,000 spikes in you from the urchins in Zanzibar. That's a great story. I've only had one spike in me from an urchin in Zanzibar. That was a medium
Oh.
good story. It was such a weird hotel, and it's a good story. But like if you had to come home because you were covered in urchin spikes, and like no one would blame you for that. Like you can't help see urchins attacking you. They became sentient and like crawled into your bed at night and covered you in spines. Fine, people have been like, yeah, you couldn't have stopped that. But like if you quit your job and you're a lazy employee who doesn't get the work done or you write the bad books or you can't make it work, that's all on me and I'm
But you're not
too much of a
any of
perfectionist.
those things. And your perfectionism, I think, means that you wouldn't do those things because you like strive to be the best version of yourself.
I think actually this document that I was looking at that I will share in the show notes, it was very much about like perfectionism causing procrastination because a lot of my block is like, oh, I need to reset my mind so I can come back to it fresh and do a really good job. Or like I can't start now because I won't do a good job. I'm a bit tired. I'll do it later. It is very much like procrastination from perfectionism, and that isn't helpful as an employee. Like as a
Mhm.
real employee, as a paid employee, I'm not a perfectionist. I've got things to do every day and just get them done, and they're pretty good. But I don't love it. It's not my like life passion. And I'm also like I do things at my work that like really only I can do. So I'm always doing good work. Um, but in my writing, I I feel a real like internal perfectionist pressure, and
Mhm.
so I'm always like having to really force myself into doing it. But I think it's overcomable, right? That's not a word, but it's like it's possible to be overcome, and that is really going to help me feel more confident quitting. It isn't the money side of it because like how many years worth of salary do I need to quit my job? If it's
Mhm.
more than one, then it's not that issue. The money isn't the issue because one
Yeah.
year is so much time, so much. I could write so much in one year.
Oh yeah. If you're just doing that full time, it would change your life trajectory. Yeah.
Yeah,
You just made me like I had like a business idea. Of course, I'm always having business ideas. But
excellent.
imagine if you were like you could be a boss for hire, where effectively all you do is you tell me your schedule at the start of the month,
Yeah,
and everything that comes up for like each day or whatever, whenever you've got targets and stuff, I email you and say, where are you up to? Can I have a
yeah.
report?
I think I do. I mean, I'm not going to pay you for that, but I think I do need an accountability buddy. Because
Yeah.
like I said, I used to work every Friday with Jordan Rivet, who's a writer in Hong Kong, and that worked so well. And the retreat that I went to in Greece, I wrote in like 3 days this novella that I just edited, and it needed so little editing. Like it really, everything was there. Um, and I wrote or at the beginning of a novel as well. Like it's about and I think again that perfectionism, like I really blame myself for not being able to do it by myself. I think I'm a failure because I can't do it when I'm not being watched. But it's like that's just how I am.
Oh
In
yeah,
fact,
me
when I'm
too.
in the office, like in my day job in my office, I work more like literal eyes on the screen time more than when I'm working from home. I think actually when I work from home, I'm
Mhm.
more efficient. Like so I actually probably end up doing about the same. But like I am more distractible because I don't have colleagues just like occasionally chat to, come back, and go in and out. I I feel like I have more time looking away from my screen. Um, and I just need to stop expecting myself. Like that's my issue with all my schedules, right? Is I constantly expect myself to wake up tomorrow and be like, Right. I'm now a perfect person. I now understand how to do everything. I'll get up, I'll do a morning page, I'll go do yoga, I'll eat
Mhm.
right, I'll be the best version of myself I've ever been, and I'll make no mistakes. Yeah, I think I can't quit my job until I'm perfect. That is it, right?
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
stupid because I won't be
yeah.
perfect. I'll just be
No.
really, really good.
Also, you'll never know what the perfect schedule or routine is
Mm,
until you quit your job because you don't know how your days are going to fall. You don't
yeah.
know what time you're going to want to wake up, what time you're going to want lunch, what time you're going to want dinner, and then how to like fit everything in your day. And how, you're not going to know what works until you do it.
Yeah, and it's really hard doing it at weekends because like at the weekend I also want to have a weekend. So I have that
Yeah.
constant battle of like I should get up super early and then you wake up a bit tired like, oh, it's my weekend, I should give myself a little lie and read a bit. It's like and then it gets to like 9 a.m. like I've wasted the day, I'm a terrible person. And I just spend so much energy having that fight with myself every single weekend day. Whereas if it was like my job, I would just find the schedule works. And maybe that schedule would be I don't start writing until the afternoon. And that's probably
Mhm.
fine. Like I'm a fast enough writer that I don't need to write every like 8 hours a day, and I don't think it's really useful for me to write 8 hours a day unless I'm
No.
doing it short term, like we did in Greece. But it's not sustainable for me.
Mhm.
Um, yes, I feel like we've taught me a lot, so I just had but it was a real breakthrough.
I know. I'm just like,
I
keep
think,
all of the attention on you.
yeah,
Don't come to me.
no, I think we will circle back because I think I still need to have like an actual plan.
Yes.
But let us dive deeper into your mindset issue and see if we can have an epiphany.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely have been hiding like, and this is like obviously years and years that I've been doing it ever since I started writing under a pen name, is not wanting people to know that I was writing, and then when people did know I was writing and not really liking having conversations about it.
Hmm.
And now I'm so much better at it now, and I'll talk to anybody about my books. And now my next step is talking to other authors because that's a part of, and also just like not being scared to be seen online talking about things. It's kind of like this podcast, like not being scared to talk about like the level of author I am
Yeah.
and all of that kind of thing. So it's
Can
it's
I
kind
ask,
of
like, when
like
you weren't telling people in your real life about it? Like, when I wasn't
mhm,
telling my real life about it, it's because I didn't want to ask any follow-up questions because I would feel embarrassed that I wasn't, like, successful already. Is it... And, like, I sometimes just didn't know the answer. If they were like, oh, like, how are you going to get successful? I'm like, I don't know, all right? I don't know how you do it. Is it that sort of, like, you don't want to be seen? Like, you don't want to be scrutinized? Like, what is the feeling of being seen by people in the real life?
I didn't want people to think that I was a bad writer. Um, and I don't really care about that anymore because like it's neither here nor there. Like there's, I was going to say there's no such thing about as a bad writer. There is, but I don't think I'm a bad writer. So I didn't want people to think that I was a bad writer. I don't know. Like I've always been quite secretive about like different variations of my personality. And I do like to say it's because I'm a Gemini, because that's like a Gemini thing. But obviously that's
It means
not like
nothing to me.
not like a real thing. But maybe who knows? I think it's just being like the middle child made me
Hmm.
um develop my own internal world, and I tend to
Mm,
rely on that more than I rely on the outside world. So I
mm,
became my own like support system, and so I kind of shunned outside support. This is like again getting quite deep. So I think it kind of stems from that of not wanting anybody else to have an opinion about things that I was doing
mm,
because we'll talk about this off the podcast, but because my dad was always very negative about things that I wanted to do or ideas that I had or anything at places I wanted to go. And now I understand why, like, I understand the process of his thinking, and we have like a fun game about things like this. But
mm.
when I was younger, I used to
When you say you
take,
understand it, do you mean like you believe it is correct or
no, no, no.
you,
I know what his process, I know how
yeah,
he processes information now. And we
yeah.
have developed a rapport of me telling him things and then me waiting 2 weeks for him to decide that that's
Hmm.
okay. So we've kind of like, I understand now as an adult how he works as an adult instead
Hmm.
of being like, I've got a dad who's really strict. Um, so I think it kind of stems from that of not wanting to tell people things because instant judgment upset me. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's kind of like a hesitation to share things because I didn't want judgment. And I've worked through that quite a lot. Like I've
Hmm.
definitely let people in way more now, and share my life very openly online. I've built up
Yeah.
this I'm very proud of myself for being like that, because I think that other people find that really difficult to be authentic, like in real life and online and everything. And I feel like I really found a great balance and a great rhythm with how I am in my life and how I am online.
Mm.
I love it. So it's just like I'm kind of like naturally developing that, and this kind of ties in. Is like sometimes I still do feel like I want to pull back out of fear,
Mm.
and it's probably like those deep-seated fears where judgment creeps in, or she's not a great writer,
Mm.
her books are trash, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Also, like, it ties in with me feeling like I'm less intellectual than a lot of people, which is my lovely go-to insecurity. So that's kind of been most of my reasoning for not wanting to talk to other authors, because I feel like I don't have anything to bring. Like, I don't have
Yeah.
anything smart to say, or I don't understand the business enough to like
Mm.
offer advice or have a full conversation without somehow showing that I am completely like making it up as I go.
And like a lot of that is just true, right? Like I have found that really hard as well,
Mhm.
as like trying to talk to other authors where they'd be like, "Oh, like what have you done with ads? Like, what you finding working with ads right now?" I was like, I don't do ads. I don't know how they work. I got nothing. And this is maybe, not right now, but like a while ago. But I still feel like there's lots of things I don't know enough about.
Mm,
And it really limits like who you can talk to, who you can feel confident talking to. But you can't just stay in the same pool all the time of like people who also don't know what they're talking about.
mhm,
That's what I really like about our Discord. It's just like there's a good range of people in there, and it means that you can ask questions. And like I like the No Stupid Questions channel best of all.
mhm.
Like you can ask a
Yeah,
stupid question and be like, you know what, I should have known this ages ago, and I bluffed that I knew it last time I spoke to someone, and actually I've got no idea what that word means.
yeah, yeah. It is a great channel. I love dipping in there
Yeah.
and see what people are asking. So I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know anything about this.
Mhm.
Um,
But there's so
so
much like fronting in the indie author world. Like there's so
yeah,
much like people giving advice who, when you look at their numbers, you'd be like, you aren't selling anything. Like, how are
yeah,
you so confident talking about these things when like you're just making it up and you're not successful?
yeah. I think that's another thing, is seeing other people talking with such confidence makes me feel like I don't want to be part of the conversation, because I think
Mm,
like what am I going to do? Say that they're wrong? Like how do I know that I'm right in that? So I would just,
mhm.
yeah, I just kind of back away. Um, that's something that I would love to do more of, is just having conversations with other authors.
Mhm.
I'm also just like somebody who really wants to, like, my dream is really to create a community. I mean, and we already are with the Discord, but like to kind of grow that kind of community
Bigger,
of,
yeah.
yeah, like to have this big thing with authors where everybody can share things and learn
Mm,
and develop and effectively make their careers work for them, so that
yeah.
we can all do this as a full-time job. And
I
that's
could
like
definitely feel like I could develop so much faster if I could have been like more confident saying, I'm making no money. Does anyone have a suggestion of
Mhm.
how I can like what I should be looking at next?
Yeah, and I want to help
Because there's
people
not a
do
space
that.
where you can say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that that's what we're doing, is like being so
Mm,
honest about it. And yeah, I want to have those more of those conversations and not feel
mm,
so timid about like being the person that says, like, maybe I can help with that. Like, I still, like, maybe I can't, but I still would like to be able to offer some
yeah.
sort of advice, or just have a conversation about how the business works, and admit that I don't understand marketing as much as maybe
Mm,
I think I do. Or there's so many things. There's so many things. But I have come such a long way since we started doing this
yeah.
podcast in accepting my strengths and my weaknesses.
Do you know what I keep going back to at the moment? I think is like a common point between the two of us. Like, um, this is going to sound like a real tangent, but it comes back. Have you ever heard like Taylor Swift's demo when she was 11?
Probably, yeah, because I did buy her first album
Yeah.
when it came out.
But then, but like by that point, she was like, well, like 16 or something, 17 or something.
Yeah,
Like
I
her
think
demo
15.
that she like took around, and it was
Oh
covers of
yeah,
other
when she was
people. Like,
going around Nashville and stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and it's just awful, right? And I
Yes,
think
it
this is
is.
someone I
Yeah.
like love everything she does. Like,
Hmm.
would let her cut my hair. Like, I think she's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Like, fine.
She can
Even
give
though
me
I
a
wouldn't let
tattoo
anyone
if
cut
she
my hair.
wants.
Yeah, tattoo on my face, fine. Like, I really a lot of trust in Taylor, except for the fact that like, and it's just so, it's so telling about mindset. Is like that 11-year-old demo is rubbish. She really can't sing. And I think that's really interesting about like watching Taylor is like so much of her career is about her songwriting. And you can see even when she's, got big shows, for the next like decade after that, like her singing was not her real strength.
Yeah.
But she just had so much confidence in herself and like really supportive parents, who were just like moving to Nashville, be like, yeah, let's pursue your career. And it also makes me think like that, you see like people who grow up rich in the UK, like there's a real class system here. People who grow up rich just like really feel like they are entitled to everything. And it's just because they went to school that told them you're brilliant. And it's like, that's the only difference, right? Is people when you were a kid consistently told you were like brilliant and deserved the whole world and should like rule the world. And like that is not necessarily good in every way. A lot of these people don't end up well. They're not all Taylor Swift. Some of them are like Boris Johnson. But like a lot of it just comes from like they had like a 10-20 year head start on being able to like have that mindset of like I can do things. And I just think even if it takes you longer to get there, like that's the only difference between like us and people who are brought up in maybe like overly from many mindsets like overly complimentary worlds is just that experience. And it's like there's no actual quality difference. If I started being a singer-songwriter right now and I believed as much as like Taylor believed, I could be a superstar because that's all it is. I've got a nice voice, I've got a passable voice, it's fine. I can write some songs and then I'll be a billionaire. Like if that was the really like I threw myself into it 100%. And it's like I just need to have that level of belief about my writing and my like writing career. And like what would Mama Swift say? She'd be like, quit your job. Like get out of there right now. Get writing. We're
It's
moving to
funny
Nashville.
because I know we should just have the moving to Nashville mindset. I am forever the person that champions everyone else. If anybody else tells me what their dream is, I'm like, right, okay, fantastic. Let's make a plan. What's the first step to get you going there? And I will build up anybody. All of my friends, like I just want everybody to be doing the thing that they want to be doing in life. And I don't think anybody should be stuck working in an office if that's not how they see themselves living for the rest of their life. And I am like the biggest champion of everyone succeeding. And yet I can't get out of my own way and do that to myself. I do, like I tell myself like it's fine. You like just keep trying and it will work. And it will, but if I could like overcome some of these insecurities faster, then it will work faster. And I want to move to Nashville.
Yeah, we're going to move to Nashville in our minds. So what are your steps then? How are you going to get more out loud and be less mist in the less forest mist?
Less forest mist, more skyscraper.
Yeah.
all the analogies.
This is our worst metaphor ever, by the way. That's our worst metaphor.
Really bad. Yeah. I'm planning on, and this kind of ties in with next week's thing as well, like next week's podcast. But I've been saying this for ages that I really want to meet up with local authors and talk about like where we're up to in our businesses and effectively like a local mastermind, but not like
I've been saying this a lot.
I know this
for
is what
a
I mean.
long
Like,
time.
I've been saying this for a long time. It's like one of the things that I've been saying forever is like I really want to meet local authors, but I'm so like I always have the best intentions for being a social butterfly, and then when it comes to it, and this is like in my life, I'm the flakiest flake of anybody ever. Like my siblings constantly are joking about it in the WhatsApp group, like asking me questions, and then somebody will chime in like, you must wait 2 to 3 working days before she replies, because I'm just like, don't rely on me. Don't ask me a question. I'm going to hide. So it's
we meet every month reliably, and you are always on time
you
and
have
like
you have changed my life. Because I remember when we first started this and you were like, right, we'll meet every month, and I was thinking like my first reaction was, what? Like I can't do that. I can't be reliable I can't be reliable every month. Like that sounds like an insane proposition. Like honestly,
that's so weird because like a lot of people that I meet up with, I remind them before we're doing something. I'll be like, just like, oh, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. It's like a real passive aggressive. I think you've forgotten. And I don't do it with everyone, but like I do it with some people consistently, and I never do. And I just like I go to sushi assuming you'll be there.
because
Like just set out,
I don't want to disappoint you.
they
So
would be
it's
livid.
exactly. So you set a bar, and now I meet the bar, and
Hmm.
sometimes like raise the bar when I get there earlier than you. Um, yeah. So you set me up for that kind of like the idea that I could
Hmm.
do things and not flake out on people. And I have been less of a flake. Maybe some of my friends might not agree with this, but I have been somewhat less of a flake when it comes to social things in the last year or so. So I need to
Could you
be
find it
like,
easy, like an easy way to do it? It's like you often go to the same coffee shop on a Saturday morning. Could you just
yes,
message some other locals like, I'm going to be there every Saturday this month. Like,
yeah,
there's no Saturday I can't make it. If you want to come down, have a chat at any point, these hours in there, have like office
yeah.
hours.
I think that's kind of what I want to do is have a place where I can just say I will always be here. Somebody drop
Hmm.
in, or like we'll all drop in. Just like casual ways to meet people and chat to people where it's not such a big deal. Because I feel like if it was a big deal, it would freak me out. But yeah, like
Yeah.
a nice casual way into something that could then turn into something bigger. So that's my plan. Is to I know at least
When are we
three
actioning this
local
plan?
authors.
Let's
Well,
make a smart goal.
we've got challenge week coming up next week.
We do.
So um, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but spoiler alert, it's gonna be them.
That's exciting. So you're gonna,
Yeah,
by our next podcast, you will have made actual progress on this.
I will have made at least a plan and reached out to people.
Mm,
No, I will have reached out to
okay,
people.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. When I say plan, I mean like pick dates and stuff because we've got like I've got a lot of stuff going on in June, so probably not going to happen in June. Maybe
And also,
not,
in
but I
fact,
will.
we are meeting other authors on Saturday, this Saturday coming.
Yes, yes. So I have got like things, and then obviously SPF is coming.
Yeah,
SPS. Wait,
yeah,
yeah. Sorry, I always say SPF obviously because like
yeah.
the way that
It
my
used to
mouth
be,
wants to
and
move it.
then SPS, yeah. But yes, we are
Um.
going to an author talk with some other authors that we know of that we've sort of I've met one before, and friends of mine have met other people, so it should be a good like just a light occasion to meet people.
Mhm.
And then SPS will meet everyone all at
Yes.
once, which is
Everybody,
very intense.
yay! Um. So I have got lots of things coming up that are going to challenge my social abilities and my
Hmm.
professionalism and my just like everything basically. If you see me out and about, just please notice how like strong and brave I'm being
Hmm.
because I'm really
Have you
pushing
got
through it.
other plans that we might talk about next week in Challenge Week? But have you got other plans in mind?
Um, no, not right now. It's more just reaching out to people and putting like because some of them I do know. There are some people whose names I have who I don't know at all. Like I've never met them. So
Hmm.
that's kind of the thing is approaching like cold calling people effectively is the biggest hurdle. I think that's how I really feel.
I'm gonna make myself a note. I've got someone to recommend to you as well.
Okay. What, a local?
Ish, not particularly, but like you could get to them.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah,
An indie?
that sounds very mysterious.
I know. Like I'm very like, ooh, how exciting. I know like some trad authors around here as well, but
Mhm.
I'll save that for when I'm feeling braver to approach people who are
No,
just within. Really? Do you think
get
like
straight
to
in.
approach trad? No,
Because I
surely
think
not.
trad authors are lonelier. Like they really, like indie authors really batch together,
Okay.
and have a lot of, groups and communities. And I think trad authors are like they often meet with their like debut group and that's it. And they might be full
Yeah,
of people
that's
they don't like.
true. Yeah.
Over a few people. Yeah, get straight in there. They're not like some sort of higher echelon of person to only meet later.
I know that's the thing. That's like a
Yeah.
mindset thing, isn't it? I have completely um basically
You
put
just
them
set
on a
yourself a trap and falling
pedestal.
straight into it.
Yeah. Okay. I will. I'll just approach everybody who I can think of who lives
Yeah.
locally and say, "Come on down, let's chat."
You could like even set up another Discord. Like you love setting stuff up.
I know I
Just like
do.
local authors.
Okay. I'm going to do
Like think
that.
big. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to do that as that's going to be like my next action then is setting up the Discord and then
Yeah.
messaging people.
Because that is also a thing you're expert in and you find easy and enjoyable. So you can go like it's a small step for you to do that.
Yes. I'm great at Discord.
Yeah.
I love
And it's
setting them
like,
up.
yeah, I know you do. Yes. Oh, time is getting on.
Mhm.
What's my plan? I forgot my epiphany already.
Are you
It was about
doing
being
a
a better
business
employee.
plan? Yeah.
Yes. So one, I think I want to really have a think about mine because I was really planning like looking at it from the financial side, and like I really, really do want to set some spreadsheets up, have a business plan, like really look at the practical, like just the numbers, like literal numbers. I think in my head it's become this sort of like swirly cloud of, you know,
Yeah.
I see myself carrying on where I am now, like not making money, like not making enough money to live on. But that's not how businesses work. Like if I took two years off, for example, from work, where would I be then? Like how do I need to increase my money over time to get to like a full-time income? Like how long would that take and what do I need to do financially to do that? And I think also put down like in digital ink, like on the page, you and I have talked about like some grants that are available that would kind of work in what we're doing.
Mhm.
I've got possible co-writing things. I could also just like look for other co-writing stuff. I could also get like a little job locally. So
Mhm.
I think I want to look at like literally on paper, how much money do I need and how am I going to make it?
Mhm.
I've got
Could
enough like irons in the fire to think through that logically rather than just be like, money will come.
yeah. Could you just for fun create a CV for yourself?
I mean, I'm good at lying on a CV. Yeah, I sound really good on a CV. I this
And
problem, like I'm a good employee. Like in my actual day job, I'm a good
yeah.
employee, and I don't trust myself to be a good self-employed employee. But in fact, that was what's good about this document is it's written by someone who's a counsellor who is self-employed as a counsellor. 'Cause that's how you work. And she was talking about how that is often a big sticking point for people when you become your own employee. Actually, a lot of people find out they prefer their horrible boss to be someone else and not their horrible boss to be themselves.
Mhm.
So I think I really want to work on like I have really got set up like a real punishment system at the moment, like a punishment mindset of, berate yourself for not working hard enough, set the goals as big as possible so that you don't have time to be lazy and like really push yourself all the time. And like that's a horrible boss. I'm both a horrible boss and a horrible employee at the
Mm.
moment. And so I don't want to take that into my whole life.
Yeah.
Um
You
at
need to create a
least in
split
my day job.
personality.
Yeah, but I need both my boss and my employee to be nicer. So I really want to work on
Oh,
like
you
a
didn't want to have an argument with yourself because that's what I would
no.
have been doing.
No, I want to get a better reward system.
Mhm.
And yeah, and I think we were talking before. I'm gonna make like a little loyalty card sort of thing. And
Yeah.
give myself some little stamps and actual rewards, and I'm gonna set some pomodoros. And like I know what works well for me. Part of it is like another mindset issue of like sort of self punishment, self worth issues of like I know it works well, and so I deliberately um undermine myself.
Restrict. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a system that works, and then I on purpose stop doing it, and not like on
Hmm.
purpose, like I will be a bad person now. It's like I just sneakily stop because then
Yeah.
it proves to
You
myself that I
rebel.
can't do things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so I think I need to get that figured out, just
Yeah.
solve that issue. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think I've done a lot of mindset stuff recently. I think that is solvable enough that I can get some systems in place and
Yeah.
also realize that like I cannot work by myself. I cannot work in isolation. I need to find some accountability systems that will enable me to have a very productive schedule
Hmm.
in like a regular weekday system.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I feel like we've talked a lot about this. This is gonna be a
Yeah.
long one, so sorry everyone. And next week we are doing a challenge week. So
Yes.
we've basically just talked about what our challenge is going to be. So mine's going to be set up a Discord and contact local authors to start a conversation about meeting up, having conversations, and like having a cool author gang. So that's what my challenge is going to be.
I I feel like you can go a bit bigger as well.
How
Yeah.
much bigger? How
I think
bigger?
that's the thing to think about
How?
during challenge week is like
Yeah. Oh yes, I will
um
be. I will be challenging myself more, no doubt.
yeah, because I think I get so much out of the like cozy clubhouse group.
Hmm.
And like I've made so many connections from that and I have regular conversations from that. I think is there something else you can do in terms of like you have a Discord already for YA fantasy authors? Like, is there something else you can be doing to like grow that bigger?
Yes.
Are there
Yes.
any other communities you can join, like promote that in more to get that team bigger? Because I think that group is like a good small group of people are at a similar level to you, but like, can you reach
Yeah,
out and like reach up a
I
bit more?
need. Yeah, I need to. I was actually talking to one of the members who I've kind of started a little side hustle thing with, who is
Mhm,
my Discord wife. I'm sorry,
mhm,
and we've been chatting recently, and we're both like talking about how we need to get a few bigger fish in the pond with us
mhm.
to try and kind of get things moving because it's a little bit stagnant. Um,
Yeah.
so yes, that will be. I'll talk about that next week. Yes, that will be
Because, you know,
part
if
of
you
it.
get it really big, like Sonia Dean lives not far from us. She lives in Leeds. If you want to
Ooh,
get like big people, but that's scary.
yeah.
But like you could just set yourself a goal of having like 10 asks or even up for like 10 rejections of people who like don't get back to you or who say I'm not interested in like talking to you at all. And like maybe just reach out with something that feels really scary, but like, oh, I'm an author, I'm at this level in my career. Like I'd love to just have a chat to you.
Hmm.
And like, can you do
Yeah,
something that's going to feel really uncomfortable? But like, even if 1 out of 10 works, that's going to be career changing.
yeah, for
And then
sure.
what's the worst that happens if you get 10 no's? Nothing.
Yes, that's fine. I've had plenty of no's in my life, so 10
Yeah.
no's is nothing.
But yeah, because I think
Yeah, okay.
it's good to have
Yeah.
like things that feel comfortable and like you could definitely can get something working out of them. But I think it would be good as well to do the scary thing. Because also like we've
Yeah.
got SPS coming, like you are going to meet people at SPS and you'll meet like
Hmm.
people in the genre, but I think you have to be because it's only now like a 1 day for the like more general admission.
Hmm.
Um, it's a little bit less time to be making connections and kind of feel like you can sort of slow edge yourself into relationships, which is what you
Yeah.
normally get at SPS. Maybe you need to just get a bit more practice at being like, we should connect. Let's have a chat next week.
Hmm. Yes, yes. That instantly
Feels
ignites
horrible.
the flake in me.
Yeah.
Instantly I'm like, I'm gonna have to cancel that. But I won't.
Hmm.
No flaking. So Sam
Yeah.
the author is not a flake. Sam the friend, yes, is a flake, but not the author.
Hmm. No. And the other's got like a podcast that's been going for a year and a half. Like you are
Yeah.
good at industry chats. It's all we
Yeah,
do.
I do love to chat. I do
Hmm.
need to rely on myself more for that because I am actually great at being social. I just tell myself
Yeah.
that I'm not, but I know that I
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think push it because I'm also going to try and push it next week. I I'm trying to really feel like next week I had originally planned as like a real admin week, but actually I think what I need to next week is like really get my life in order. I have made
Mhm.
myself a list of 28 things around my house that need doing for like just very basic housework. Because I've been so focused on writing that I've really like let things just get like a little bit slack around
Don't
my
worry
house.
about it. Have you seen the office around me? This is next
Yeah, and
weekend's
it's just like,
problem.
but now it's like every part of my house. Like often it's just like
Yeah.
a bit of my house is like behind, or it's a little bit grumpy. It's like, but now it's just stage where it's like, oh, it feels overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and
That I'm
spend
there
next
with
week being
you.
like, okay, I'm getting back in
Yeah.
order. And I think as part of that, I want to kind of figure out some systems to at least trial. I really liked our 6-day challenge for social media, so I might just
Hmm.
have like, can I try like a week at a time a different process for getting myself really focused. Um,
Yeah.
and part of it is really hard in that like my schedule is very changeable because I'm doing different things. So like the next thing I'm working on is the rest of a book, the first draft, and then the thing after that is a complete redraft of a co-written book, and then the thing after that is like the plan from the book. So it's like it's really hard to figure out like how do I set a week up that feels like it works for the situations,
Hmm.
and how do I trial it? So I think I need to get a real long hard look at myself, set some systems up, clear some space, get every surface clear, have a fresh start and really feel like I'm going to give myself a chance to be a great employee and a
Mm.
great
I
boss.
love it. I love it when you've got a clean and tidy house to do that.
Yeah, yeah,
That is like such a
it's going to
nice,
be
like,
good.
oh, everything's in its right place.
And it
Now I
makes
can do
such a
it.
difference to me. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I know, I'm the same way. I let everything get really messy. And then
Mm,
I'm like, all of a sudden I notice it. And then I clean. I'm like, oh, this feels like just hoovering. I'm like, oh, this feels so good. It's like everything's where it's supposed to be and there's no mess. I'm
hmm.
going to keep on top of this. And I don't mess up.
No.
Never.
Um, I think I can. I just like have been so focused on writing this year that I really have not. And yes, I'm gonna do that. I'm also gonna really I'm very, very grateful that Helen, friend of the podcast, Helen, financial whiz, has sent me some great spreadsheets to work through to put together a financial plan and like literally put numbers on the page. So I am gonna stop chickening out from thinking like how does money work, because I don't actually do because I have money. So don't think about that. I'm gonna actually think about money and imagine myself needing to, be a grown up, not a child with a credit card. So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do that next week. Get my house in order. Get some plans in place for testing different like accountability and organization systems. And I feel better even just having talked about that. I feel
Mhm.
like so much lighter.
Yeah, you say it out loud, it makes it real.
Hmm.
Right. I feel like we have talked ourselves to the point of exhaustion.
Yeah.
I'm so tired, emotionally and physically tired. And so thank you very much to everybody who got through to the very end of this.
Hmm.
We will be back next week, and don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff. Leave a review. We kind of like reviews kind of dawdle. We get some every now and again, and then like nothing comes through. So if you enjoyed this, drop us 5 stars, 5 stars only. I don't want to see anything less. And tell everybody you know, and join us in Discord and all of the stuff that we say.
Yeah.
If you also
Get on
want
the
to donate,
coffee. Yeah.
go donate to coffee. All the usual stuff. Thanks very much, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Pen to Paycheck Authors.
Stay tuned for our next episode, and don't forget to subscribe to learn how to write your way to financial success.